Good afternoon and welcome to EduSite Live Lectures. Dear friends, today in World Geography Through Maps, we will be talking about South America and Australia. To discuss this topic, we have with us our subject expert, Dr. B.W. Pandey. Dr. Pandey is Associate Professor in Department of Geography in Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. Without further ado, I would like to welcome Sir to our studios and request him to start the lecture. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Amrit. Hello friends, good afternoon and welcome to EduSite lecture, the CEC. And today I'm going to discuss the regional geography of South America continent and Australia continent. As you know, South America continent, it is geographically it is unique, and it is fifth largest continent in terms of area, and also it is fifth largest in terms of the population, the Brazil. So this factor for the Brazil, fifth largest in terms of area, fifth largest in terms of population. South America continent, it is a part of Gondwana land, and you'll find that the west coast of the South America having Pacific Ocean, Pacific realm, and the east coast Atlantic Ocean. And you will find that the west coast is tectonically very, very active, while east coast is tectonically free almost. First of all, we'd like to discuss the political map of South America, and we'll see the political map of South America continent. There are only two landlocked countries. Rest of the countries have sea coast. These two countries are number one, Bolivia, and number two, Paraguay. Bolivia and Paraguay. These are the two landlocked countries of South America continent. And then you find countries along the west coast, right from the north. This is Colombia, then Ecuador, then Peru, and finally Chile. The four countries on the west coast, the the Colombia, the Ecuador, Peru, and then Chile. While on the east coast, there are three countries. The largest one is the Brazil, and Uruguay, this country Uruguay, and Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. Along the northern coast, you will find the northern coast, which the countries like Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. So, along the northern coast, Colombia, Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and French Guiana. Also, the largest country, Brazil, in the South America continent. If you see the map of South America continent, you'll find that there are only two countries in South America continent which do not share the common boundary with Brazil. That is, number one, Ecuador, and number two, Chile. Ecuador and Chile do not share the common international boundary with Brazil. Rest of all the countries of South America, they have common boundary with Brazil. Friends, Brazil is the largest country of South America in terms of geographical area, also in terms of population. And it ranks 5th in the world in terms of the area and as well as population. Brazil, most of the population of Brazil live in the southern part of Brazil. Northern part is extremely hot and humid because of megathermal climate, equatorial climate. And if you see the climatic conditions of South America, you find that this is the this equator passing through the northern part of South America, and city of Quito is capital of Ecuador, and another famous city of Brazil that lies in the mouth of the river Amazon is Macapa. Macapa, this is the equator line. Macapa, and if you come to the western part, the capital of Ecuador, Quito, lies near equator. So, because of the equatorial climate, the northern part of Brazil is hot and humid, having rainforest. You know, rainforests are very, very dense, having 6 to 7 layers of the flora and 6 to 7 layers of the fauna, mega biodiversity region. And in this region is the world largest natural vegetation of evergreen forest, rainforest, which is popularly known as selvas. So this is the region of selvas. You can find the tropical rainforest. This tropical rainforest covers the largest area of South America continent. And this is the region where one of the largest river catchment in the world. You know, the physiography, if you see the physiography of South America, you will find that northern part of the South America having plateaus. This is called Guiana Islands. Guiana Plateau in the north, Andes Mountain in the west, and the plateau of Mato Grosso, Campos, and the Brazilian highlands all form several lakh square kilometer area where water drains from north to south, from south to north, and finally from west to east. Friends, this is the reason that the river Amazon drains parallel to the equator, and it forms the largest catchment in the world. And not only largest catchment in the world, it is the largest river in the world. And in terms of catchment area, also in terms of volume of water, number of tributaries, and you will see that out of the total water drain in the rivers in the world, out of the total rivers of the world, more than 20% of the river water drained by Amazon alone. That's why it is Amazon, called Amazonia. And Amazonian basin having very large tributaries like River Madeira. River Madeira is the largest tributary from the south, while River Negro is the largest tributary from the north. From the north, Negro; from the south, Madeira. And a number of rivers like Japura, Purus, the Tapajos, all the thousands and thousands of the tributaries to River Amazon. Very interesting that here at the confluence of River Negro and River Amazon, you will find this is a most interior port in the world. You will find Manaus, city of Manaus at 60 degree west longitude. This is Manaus. Manaus is situated in the River Negro, close to the confluence point of Negro and Amazon. Manaus is the most interior river port in the world. Friends, this is the area of the dense forest, equatorial forest, so lot of timber and other forest products, including the wild rubber. You know, the three typical rubber species like Hevea, Valeta, and Crestulova. Hevea, Valeta, and Crestulova found in Brazil in the Amazonian basin. Hence, this is the reason that Brazil is the largest producer of natural rubber in the world. And all these forest products transported from Manaus to Macapa, and from where it is all the way transported to the Belém, São Luís, Fortaleza, Recife, Maceió, Salvador, and Rio de Janeiro, Santos, Curitiba. These are the coastal cities, they are the port cities, and because of suitable extratropical climatic condition, temperate climatic condition in the south, so big cities, big industries located in the southern part of Brazil. The Sao Paulo, Campinas, Santos, Rio de Janeiro, Belo Horizonte, these are the big cities in Curitiba. They're like urban agglomerations in the southern part. So all the way, the forest product that is transported from Manaus through the ships, this is the river port, through the river it comes to the Macapa, and it is very interesting to know that it is very cheap transportation. This is a mechanism how the people of Brazil utilize the natural resource like the rainwater. Friends, you know, this equatorial region where it is characterized with convectional rainfall. Rainfall occurs every day between 2 to 4 p.m. And the amount of water all the way from the catchment area when it comes to the main river, Amazon, so the water level of Amazon rises more than 16 meters every day. It looks like a high tide and the low tide, tide and ebb in the Amazon every day because of the rainwater. So when after 4 o'clock, somewhere 6 o'clock, then the water of the Amazon goes up, and then the ship moves from Manaus to Macapa, and it is all the way transported with the force of water. So it's very cheap and very efficient means of transportation of the forest products in Brazil. Friends, most of these industries, cities, its capital Brasilia, and all the other cities lie in the southern part because of the very temperate, cool type of climate, and also southern part is suitable for wheat cultivation. So northern part is tropical, hot and humid. If you see the map of vegetation, you will find that the northern part having rainforest, equatorial forest, megathermal forest, and also south of this megathermal area, this is the second largest savanna region of the world. You know, the savanna found largest area in Africa continent. After Africa, it is South America where you find the largest area under savanna. And savanna in South America known with different local names, which has a particular meaning, like northern part in the basin of river Orinoco. In the basin of river Orinoco, this is river Orinoco, this is the llanos. Llanos are the tall grass called elephant grass. Then you find the plateau of Mato Grosso here, plateau of Mato Grosso. Mato Grosso includes the tropical savanna with more trees, less grass. Then you find compose. Compose have almost equal proportion of the trees and grass. This is called true savanna. Compose. Sertão. Sertão where more grass, less trees. And finally Caatinga. Caatinga means dry shrub. There is no tree, rather dry shrub called Caatinga. And little south, this is Gran Chaco. Gran Chaco, it is the Latin word which means land of hunting. You will see a lot of videos on YouTube and the National Geographic channel. I'll find many wildlife channels where there are a lot of herbivorous and carnivorous, the big chase, big hunting. So this is the Gran Chaco. Gran Chaco, land of big hunting. And these are all tropical vegetation. And in south, between 30 to 60 latitude, this is Pampas. Pampas, which is the temperate grassland. And you know, Pampas is the very fertile soil. It is the lowest soil. Lowest, very fine carbonic material blown away by the wind from Patagonia desert and get deposited in the Pampas. Friends, Pampas are so fertile, temperate grassland. It is known as granary of South America continent. It is granary of South America continent because it is largest producer of wheat and the meat. There is mixed farming. Therefore, it is known as the food basket, the granary of South America continent. Then you find in South America, there are the rivers draining from the Brazilian highlands towards south, where river Parana and river Paraguay are the two very famous rivers, Parana, Paraguay, and Uruguay. The countries like Paraguay had received its name from the river Paraguay. Similarly, river Uruguay, the country known as Uruguay, and river Parana. Finally, river Parana and Paraguay join and form the common river Parana, also called Plata, Parana. So the river Parana demarcates the boundary between Brazil and Paraguay, then between Argentina and Paraguay. This is the international boundary formed by river Parana. And then river Paraguay also form international boundary between Paraguay and Argentina. River Uruguay form international boundary between Brazil and Argentina. Finally, river Uruguay forms a boundary between Uruguay and Brazil and Argentina. So these are the hydrological boundary, the channel boundary between the Argentina, Brazil, Argentina, Paraguay, Argentina, and Uruguay. So River Orinoco in the north, then you find Amazonian basin, River Amazon, then you find River Parana, Paraguay, and the River Uruguay. These are the major rivers of South America continent. Friends, in South America, you'll find certain unique geographical conditions. And those uniqueness, I would like to mention you that it's number one in the world. You can count, it may be more than 10 to 15 points, which are the number one in the world. So let's begin number one. I had mentioned you number one, the most interior river port in the world is Manaus in Brazil. Then you find that Brazil is the largest producer of coffee in the world. It is number one coffee producer in the world. So number one, coffee production. Thirdly, I told you Brazil is the largest producer of natural rubber in the world. So largest producer of natural rubber through the Hevea, Baleta, and Cristalloa. These are rubber species. Number four, you find this is the most common, everybody knows that this is the longest mountain chain in the world called Andes. It is longest mountain chain in the world. The number six, on the Brazil, in the Andes mountain, you'll find the Lake Titicaca. This is the caldera lake. This is a volcanic lake. And this is the highest caldera lake in the world, perhaps the highest lake in the world. Titicaca, Lake Titicaca, which makes boundary between the Peru and the Bolivia. And in South America continent, this is the plateau of Guinea Plateau. On the Guiana Plateau, this is the very unique feature which I'd like to show you that you can find. This is the Guiana Plateau, and on the Guiana Plateau in the Venezuela, you find the highest waterfall in the world, called Angel Falls. Angel Falls, the highest waterfall in the world. Then, this is the west coast of the Chile. West coast of Chile, characterized with very dry climate because of there is a descending wind from the slope of the Andes mountain, and also there is a cold current, which is known as Humboldt cold current, Peru cold current. Due to this cold current, this is the driest part, and this is the driest location in the world, this place called Arica. Friends, the wettest place is Cherrapunji Macedram in the world. Similarly, the driest place in the world is Arica in Chile, where there's a less than 1 centimeter rainfall. It is a 0.08 centimeter rainfall, less than 1 centimeter. This is the driest place in the world, and in this driest place, you'll find this is the desert called Desert Atacama Desert. Atacama Desert is the driest desert in the world, and in Atacama, there is the largest copper field in the world, largest copper mine in the world, which is called Chuquicamata. Chuquicamata is the largest copper field in the world. And here you find this is the Peru-Chile Trench. Peru-Chile Trench, this is the longest trench in the world, parallel to fold mountain of Andes. So Andes, longest mountain chain in the world, in the continent, and in the ocean, Peru-Chile Trench is the longest trench in the world. Then you find the city located along the west coast, in the city of Santiago, and here there are certain number of cities on the west coast and the east coast in Colombia, where you can find that the city, political cities, that there are international seaports. These are the Barranquilla, Cartagena along the Caribbean Sea, and you find along the west coast Pacific having the ports like Tumco and the port of the Guayaquil in Ecuador. Then you find the capital of Lima, Peru, Lima, and here the Santiago and Valparaiso. These are the important ports of the west coast. Along the east coast, you find the Buenos Aires, Montevideo, Porto Alegre, find Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, and Maceo, Recife. These are Belém, are the important ports. Friends, Belém is the city, the port of gold and diamond. So this way, you'll find the geographical parameters of South America continent, which are unique, and I hope you can discover more, but these are certain more geographical information which I'd like to share with you. Thank you very much. Now we'll discuss the Australia continent. You know, among the 7 continents, this is the smallest continent, Australia. It's an island continent. And not only smallest in the area, also it is the smallest in the population. Less than 1% world population live in Australia. This is the reason that Australia, having highest per capita arable land in the world, because approximately around 12% land of Australia suitable for agriculture, and population is too less. And even then, the majority of the population of Australia live in the urban areas, is highly urbanized. Friends, as you know, Australia, politically, if you see the map of Australia, you will find that this is the political map of Australia. This is Western Territory, this is Northern Territory, this is Southern Territory, Queensland, this is New South Wales, this is Victoria, this is Tasmania, and you find here the territory on the coral territory, coral sea islands territory. Australia, majority of the population live along the sea coast, because the interior of Australia, almost 80% of Australia is desert. And you might have heard the name of the desert: Great Sandy Desert, Great Victoria Desert, Simpson Desert, Tanami Desert, Rocky Desert. There are so many deserts in Australia. I'd like to show you. You can find the deserts of Australia. This is called Great Sandy Desert. This is Gibson Desert. This is the Great Victoria Desert. You'll find this is Simpson Desert in the Downs area, Simpson Desert, and this is Tanami Desert. You can find that more than 80% of Australia is desert, and you can see the climatic regions, then find this is the area where rainfall is less than 25 centimeter. And this is semi-arid area covering 25 to 50 centimeter. Friends, covering the arid and the semi-arid, it covers more than 20% land of Australia. This is, find the driest place in Australia. This is the wettest place in Australia. And in the south, this is the coldest place. 25 centimeter rainfall demarcates the arid and the semi-arid condition there. And you see the coastal area, northern coast having heavy rainfall. Then find the east coast is humid, north coast and east coast are humid, but south and the west coast, they have semi-humid condition, and the arid and semi-arid in the interior. Therefore, if you see the map, political map, you will find that most of the population of Australia live along the sea coast. If there are cities in the interior of the continent, so those cities are mining cities. And there are thousands and thousands of the ghost settlements in Australia, ghost towns in Australia. Ghost town means when the mining is going on, people live there, and once mining is over, then they come back to the coastal cities. So all the structure, settlements remain left. No one lived there, so it is called ghost town, ghost cities. And if you see the map of Australia, you'll find that how the cities are arranged in such a manner that the east coast and the south coast, which is suitable for settlement, climatic conditions are highly suitable. Therefore, you find the major cities, big cities, lies in the southeast coast, like the Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne, and the Hobart, Adelaide, Perth. These are the major cities of Australia found in southern part. And if you find the arrangements, geographical arrangements of the cities, you will find that the cities of Australia are arranged in such a manner that if you arrange them alphabetically, you will find a set like academic degree called BSc, MA, and PhD. So cities of Australia are cities like BSc, MA, and PhD. So B stands for Brisbane, S for Sydney, and C for Canberra. This is BSc. Let's see the MA, M for the Melbourne, A for Adelaide. Then PhD, P stands for the Perth, H stands for the Hobart, Tasmania, and D stands for Darwin in the north. These are major cities, and apart from these, there are satellite cities, a number of satellite cities along the coast, like at Perth, the Fremantle, Bunbury. The Fremantle is satellite port of Perth. Similarly, you can find the Sydney, Wollongong, Newcastle, the satellite ports of the Sydney, and Melbourne, Ballard, Bendigo. Ballard and Bendigo, they are the satellite towns of Melbourne, and the Geelong, Ballard, Bendigo, and I would like to mention that Ballard and Bendigo are also very famous for mining. These are the gold and diamond mine. You know that Australia is the second largest producer of gold and diamond in the world after South Africa. The major gold mines lie in the Western Australia, and the diamond mine also in the Western Australia, Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie. So after Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie, the cities of Ballard, Bendigo, and Geelong, they are also cities of gold and diamond, a gold mine and diamond mine. The cities lying in the interior, the few cities are very famous for the mineral resources, like Alice Spring, city of Alice Spring, close to the Tropic of Capricorn, like Tropic of Cancer passes India, Tropic of Capricorn passes Australia. So near Tropic of Capricorn is Alice Spring. Alice Spring, which is the largest gas field of Australia. And this is the Australian National Highway passing from Darwin, Katherine, passing through the Alice Spring, then Oodnadatta, and finally it's come to the Adelaide via Port Augusta. So from Darwin to Port Augusta, this is the Australian National Highway, and connecting Alice Spring to Darwin, Alice Spring to Port Augusta for the port cities, for the export of the natural gas and petroleum. This is a city of Mount Isa and Broken Hill. Mount Isa and Broken Hill are the cities of rich mineral resources where you find the copper, zinc, and lead. Copper, zinc, and lead found in Broken Hill and the Mount Isa. Then if you see the physical map of Australia, I'd like to mention you, in the physical map of Australia, this is the area called Hamersley Range. In the Hamersley, there is a Pilbara mine. Pilbara mine is the largest iron ore mine of Australia. And in the southern part, Flinders Range, the Eyre Peninsula, Grey Range. The Flinders Range, Grey Range, and Eyre Peninsula, these are very rich in iron ore and coal. Eyre Peninsula is very famous for coal and iron ore. So this is Eyre Peninsula, you can say it is like a Ruhr of Australia. Then this one, right from the desert, of the Great Sandy Desert, this is Kimberley Plateau to Arnhem Land. These are the area where there's very big deposits of the uranium and thorium. And you know Australia is a major reserve and producer of uranium in the world. And apart from these minerals, there are well reserve of the gold, diamond, copper, nickel, nuclear minerals, petroleum, and natural gas. Apart from the inland petroleum of the Alice Spring, this is the Bass Strait, Bass Strait is also very rich in the petroleum reserve. Petroleum and natural gas found in Bass Strait. Friends, if you see carefully, Bass Strait, it is a continental shelves. This is the white color, continental shelves. So that between mainland of Australia and Tasmania, this is called Bass Strait, very rich in petroleum. Also, in the Geography Bay coastal area found the petroleum. Friends, it is a less population and huge, very large size of the land resource, mineral resource, water resource, agriculture resource, forest resource. So that's why the per capita income in Australia is high. It is a developed country. This is settlers where the people came from the Europe continent and get settled in Australia. The native people in Australia, they are aborigines. They are the tribe, aboriginal tribe. Aborigines. Apart from aborigines, Bindibu and blackfellows are also found in Australia. Australia, most of the tribal population have converted, they have educated because of their infrastructure. But still, the traditional tribal population of the aborigines are found in Australia and mainly the desert region where they have tribal culture. And aborigines are very, very fond of paintings. So they keep on painting their body, their house, their cloth. So painting is very common among the aborigines. And they still practice cannibalism. They have their god called Mutgan. Mutgan is the name of their god, and they practice human sacrifice and they eat called cannibalism. And in Australia, this is another unique feature I'd like to tell you. This is around 800 kilometer long and 400 kilometer width. This is called Downs Land. This is really downs. This is a kind of the concave shape of the land, more than 800 kilometers. And below the land, there's a big size of lake, underground lake, throughout the Downs Land. And in the underground lake, people of Australia, they have farming. Downs, it is the temperate grassland of Australia, and it is highly suitable for the granary, for the agricultural production. So wheat is the major crop of the Downs land. So Downs is the granary of Australia. Friends, it is very unique to know that in the Downs land, no doubt, because this is the dry area, the Simpson Desert, the dry area where is irrigated agricultural land, irrigated farming. And for irrigation, they do not need power to pump the water, to lift the water. Water comes automatically because of the pressure of water. This is the kind of incline. This is the Downs land, which is a concave shape. So water moves down, underground water. It makes a pressure where in the center water flows automatically. This is called artesian well. Australia, Downs land is the largest artesian valley in the world. Largest artesian valley in the world in Australia. Throughout the Downs land is artesian land. So when they do need to irrigate the land, they simply open the mouth of the pipe, water comes automatically. So this is the irrigated farming, the wheat farming. So Downs land known as granary of Australia. You find this is the Queensland state. Queensland having tropical type of climate with this modest rainfall about 100 to 125 centimeter. So this is the area where the coastal area have rice and sugar cane cultivation. Rice and sugar cane cultivation found in the Queensland. And earlier time, when the Europeans, Britishers, they become settlers, they had brought the slave from the surrounding Melanesian islands. Melanesian islands, those slaves working in the field of the sugar cane and the rice, they are called konku. The konku are the name of the slave, which were earlier brought. Today they are no more slave. They were brought earlier by the European people to cultivate the land, sugar cane and the rice. This is New South Wales, friend. The climate of New South Wales is unique for the herding. So the sheep rearing is very common. And you know, the Australia is the largest producer of sheep and the wool in the world. The merino apparel, the sheep which is found in Australia, and New South Wales is the largest producer of sheep and wool. Coming to the south, Victoria Strait and the Tasmania. Victoria, Tasmania, also some coastal area of the Southern Territory. Victoria and Tasmania, this is a typical Mediterranean type of climate. If you see the climatic regions of Australia, this is climatic regions, you will find here, this is the Mediterranean type of climate, and west coast of the Western Territory, west and southern coast of Western Territory, the city of Perth, city of Adelaide, having Mediterranean climate. So this climate is highly suitable for citrus fruits and horticulture. So horticulture, and particularly the production of grapes and manufacturing wine, citrus fruits are very common in the Perth and the Adelaide. Here, the Melbourne, Hobart, these are the maritime climate suitable for dairy farming. So dairy farming and vegetation grown in the Tasmania and the Victoria Strait. See, Victoria State is the largest producer of milk, while Tasmania is the largest producer of vegetable. So Tasmania, known as Garden City of Australia, it is the fruit and vegetable grown in Tasmania. Hobart is the major city. Here the Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, these are the where agriculture products are more dominating. As you know, the eastern coast of Australia drained by Eastern Australian warm current, and western coast of Australia drained by Western Australian cold current. Friends, east coast have very strong warm current and the west coast have very strong cold current. So warm current, Eastern Australian warm current provides a suitable ideal geographical condition for which there is a longest coral deposits in the world. It's almost 1,920 kilometer long coral deposits, which is called Great Barrier Reef. Great Barrier Reef, this is Great Barrier Reef, the longest reef in the world, and this is because of the Eastern Australian warm current. And this is along the east coast. Along the west coast is the Western Australian cold current, and due to the Western Australian cold current, there are very suitable, unique conditions for fishing along the west coast. So, city of Fremantle, Perth are known for also the horticulture and as well as fishing. Northern part of Australia, northern part of Australia there is a heavy rainfall, and due to heavy rainfall you can see the natural vegetation. So northern part of Australia here, there is a tropical rainforest. So major timber production comes from the northern territory. So if you see, most of the products of Australia are exported because of less population. So if you see that the city of Darwin famous for timber export. Darwin port is a timber exporting port. City of Brisbane export the tropical agricultural production like millets, sugarcane, maize, and meat, because there is a lot of grazing land. The Queensland has a major producer of meat, major export from Brisbane. Sydney is the port exporting wool and meat. Then you find the city of Melbourne. Melbourne is the port exporting the dairy products. The Hobart is the port exporting the fruits and vegetables. City of Adelaide and city of Perth. City of Adelaide and city of Perth, both the Adelaide is the wine exporting port. Perth is a wine and fish exporting port. Friends, you will find this way the poor people living along the sea coast. Therefore, Australia has also developed a kind of unique ecotourism, geographical tourism, nature tourism, and all along the coastal area of northern Australia, southern Australia, western Australia, eastern Australia, all along parallel to the sea coast. If you visit in Mumbai, you will find that the Nariman Point, where you can see the necklace of Queen. You find the road parallel to the sea coast. So it's called necklace of the Queen. So similarly, all along all the coastal area of Australia having road, highway, and this is perhaps the longest national highway in the world, which connects all the coastal cities of Australia. Friends, this is the Australia part of the Gondwana land, the northern part of the Gulf of Carpentaria, and this is the York Peninsula. Friends, in the world, all the continents, they are cape and peninsula facing towards south. This is the only continent which cape and peninsula facing in the north, Cape York Peninsula, north facing. In the south, this is the great Australian Bight, and this is the largest bight in the world. Great Australian Bight. This is the largest bight in the world. And this is a Bass Strait in the south, and in the north, the Torres Strait. These are the two geostrategic locations with the sea in Australia. And in the southern part, this was the kind of a rift valley were formed when Australia had break up with Antarctica, when it was joined with the Gondwana land, and with this breakup there was a big size of valley, and this valley was later on filled up with sediments and formed the plain. This plain is called Nullarbor Plain. Nullarbor Plain, Great Victoria Desert, and the Great Australian Bight. These are the unique geographical feature of the division of Australia and Antarctica continent. Southern Peninsula is Eyre Peninsula, is very rich in mineral resources. Friends, this is a very famous geological name, Kangaroo Island. Kangaroo Island in the Southern Territory, and and the Botany Bay in Sweden. These are unique feature of the geological unique feature of Australia continent. Friends, this way we are able to sum up many information about Australia, many more. You can learn from the further materials. If any question, any query, you are most welcome. Thank you very much.
On that note, I would like to thank sir for this very enriching discussion, and thank you dear friends for watching our show. Stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you.